room!
From Alcyon Park in Pitman, New Jersey, Dan Wilkins Broadcasting presents our season opener in the Tri-County Baseball League. It's the Gartons of Vineland versus the Pitman Bad Guys from Alcyon Park in Gloucester County. Hello, everybody, and good evening. I'm Dan Wilkins. Another great night for Tri-County Baseball. This is opening our 4th year of coverage here in the Tri-County League. And funny enough, this year, our summer baseball coverage will start and end in the same place. If you recall, in the second week of August, we'll have the Carter Cup for 2026 at this very venue. But tonight, it's a beautiful night for baseball. It's early in the summer. The heat hasn't really set in yet. And really, we already had some heat waves in this summer that have now passed us by. But it's about 75 degrees just at about 7 o'clock tonight for a great matchup in the South Division between an unbeaten Vineland team at 3-0 and a Pitman team that has yet to play a game this year. Out of the 5 teams in the South Division, there's definitely been a bit of a recoil in how these teams have operated over the years. Pitman was 16-3 last year, and even though the Rough Riders were upended in the early rounds of the playoffs to prevent a third straight year of a Rough Riders Cherry Hill Pitman rematch, this year, last year, it ended up being Pitman versus Washington Township. Game 1 was a little lopsided. Game 2 was not. And Luke Lesh was the hero in last year's Carter Cup. A Game 2, 12th inning walk-off home run at this very venue won the game for Pitman and gave Kip another title, their first since 2019. But what I love about this Tri-County League is how little the team has changed from year to year. When you talk about the Pitman Bad Guys, you can name at least 3 ex-professionals on the team. Billy Rice, Chris Rollins, and Adrian Gonzalez all played professional baseball in the minor leagues, not to mention several Division I prospects like Luke Lesh out of Rider University and Stephen Massaro out of TCNJ in the D3 world. They've got Jake Andney starting on the night for Rowan University's prospect coming for Pitman here. Rowan making their second straight appearance in the Division III College Baseball World Series. There's a lot to like about this league. There's some teams that operate themselves like a well-oiled machine right out of Cape Cod or Ripken with purely college prospects. But then there's teams like Vineland that have a mix of both, and you've got a team like Pitman that is a majority of players that are like a brotherhood, and they've been playing for years and years, if not decades. But Pitman is on the field. We've got starting lineups in first pitch after the break. For Pitman in their season opener and our season opener, we will see Jake Andrea out of Rowan University get the start for the Pitman Bad Guys, led by Kip Bard. This is his first start of the year and the first game of the year for Pitman, as they've got quite the exciting team as they look to repeat as Carter Cup champions. But in their first bout of 2026, they'll have the Gartons of Vineland in their way. Their starting lineup, led by manager Chris Williams, will be Ty Powell in left field. Anthony Charles out of Delaware will be the center fielder batting second. Nick O'Brien is the second baseman batting third. Darren Fisher will be in the cleanup spot. Tyler Shoppy is your catcher batting fifth. It'll be Brent Williams out of Woodstown and of Hartford Community College batting sixth as the third baseman. Joey Peacock out of St. Augustine Prep bats seventh. Batting eighth will be Kyle Iser, the extra hitter out of Timber Creek and Camden County College. Rob Lagarina will be the first baseman batting ninth. And straight out of Vineland High School, Xavier Etheridge will bat 10th as the shortstop. Just getting ready to go here. It is a beautiful and fair Monday afternoon / evening now here in Pitman at Alcyon Park. A bit of a different setup for us, but 71 degrees at first pitch. Wind blowing 10 miles an hour to the southeast. We are underway with a fly ball cracked out to center field, coming in and making the catch. Diving for a base hit. That will go in there for Ty Powell, and he'll lead off not only the game, but the season for our Tri-County baseball coverage with a base hit. So a leadoff base runner on the first pitch. Ty Powell cracks one the other way. And this will now be Anthony Charles, the Clearview grad. Won a sectional championship with Clearview in 2021, South Jersey Group 4. They beat Williamstown in that game. It's also on the first pitch. This one skied into center field. Rice is there, and he'll make the catch, out number one. So here is the number 3 hitter. And Nick O'Brien. But a busy night here at Pitman. Games behind us, games to the side of us, games all around us here for the Pitman Little League as the runner goes. That one misses. Throw to second is going to be offline. Skips in, and Gonzalez had to scramble to make that play. It's 1-0 to O'Brien. O'Brien from the University of Pennsylvania, batting .375 in the early season. He's played in all 3 games so far for Vineland. 3 for 8. 3 hits, 3 RBIs, and 1 walk for the batter in the 3 spot here for the Gartons. Strike called, 1-1. O'Brien, .375 average, 600 on-base percentage, and an .875 OPS. Looking for his first extra base hit. One ball, one strike. One away after a base hit and a fly ball to center field on just 2 pitches. Strike called again, 1-2. Definitely a big boost for Jake Andre. I mean, even though he gave up the 1 hit, still getting 2 batters away, maybe 2 of the most dangerous batters on this Gartons team with 2 pitches. No matter how you slice it, as long as it's not 2 solo home runs, you can kind of rest easy knowing that you did the right thing in terms of pitch counting, as that ball's fouled back. Still 1-2. But as we said, though, Chris Rollins at third base, Adrian Gonzalez at short, Billy Rice in center field, those 3 ex-pros. Rice spending time with the Phillies minor league organization, Gonzalez with the Pirates, and Chris Rollins wearing his Cubs hat, a 41st round draft pick in 2005 by the Chicago Cubs, as that one fouled back. Still 1-2. Yeah, Rollins likes to wear that Cubs cap sometimes. He's a Winslow Township grad who went to Rowan College of South Jersey, got drafted out of, well, I apologize. It was Gloucester County College, and then today it's known as RCSJ Gloucester. But they have quite the storied history, and Rollins was also a coach there, now an assistant coach at Rowan University. As that ball's poked out towards second base, this could be a double play, and it will be. A line drive caught at second base. It's a 4-3 double play. And Pitman takes care of a defensive vulnerability, or I should say a base running vulnerability, to get out of the inning. Pitman leaves the runner in scoring position. They'll take their first at-bats after the break. Bottom of the first inning, your starting pitcher for the Vineland Gartons will be Logan Ruga, right-hander out of Washington College in Pennsylvania. 6 innings, 4 walks, 7 Ks in his only appearance so far. No earned runs allowed, but he does have a whip of 1. As the former minor league prospect Billy Rice will step up to the plate for Pitman in the bottom of the first inning. 1 runner reached on a base hit. The first pitch trails up and in from Ruga, 1-0. One to Rice. Check swing. Umpire says he went, and it's 1-1. Outside. Rice, a product of Washington Township High School. Spent time with the Philadelphia Phillies and White Sox organizations from 2010 to 2013. That hit Ruga right in the back. Rice will be safe at first on a wide throw. And now the attention turns to make sure that Ruga's okay. That one, it'll be scored as an infield single, and Ruga telling the umpire and everybody else in his court that he's okay. Very scary sight there. I'd have to see, we'll look at the replay to see where that hit him, but it looked like it hit him on the backside. He turned around after the line drive. But it's an infield single, kind of an unconventional infield single, and certainly a painful one. But here is Adrian Gonzalez. Here's your replay presented by Harper Driving School. That did get him right in the back. Gonzalez showed bunt, calls a strike, 0-1. He offered at it. Up and out, 1-1. Throwback to first, not in time on Rice. Gonzalez, the product of Rutgers Camden, with a .342 hitter in college in 2013 and 2014. Had 14 home runs for the Scarlet Raptors, 94 RBIs in 2 seasons there. Dealing with a runner on first and nobody out. Bottom of the first inning here in Alcyon Park in lovely Pitman, New Jersey. Throwback, Rice goes in standing, but he is safe. Rice was a career .273 hitter in the minor leagues with the Phillies and White Sox organizations. Highest level he reached was High A, which was with Winston-Salem in 2013 as a 24-year-old. And in that season, he hit .171, but spent the rest of the 2013 season with the Camden River Sharks. It's a swing and a miss. And, I think it's funny. Like, I'm 20 years old as of now, and I grew up, some of my first experiences watching baseball were on the stage that was the Camden River Sharks, and I looked up to those players so much, and now we're covering some of those former River Sharks and ex-professionals. There's a swing and a miss. Gonzalez takes the fastball at the low half of the strike zone and wavers at it for out number 1, and this will now bring up the number 3 batter in Pitman's lineup in Austin Lay. I was about to say Scott Shaw, but he is due to hit next. It's Rice in ninth. Throw back to first, not in time. So Rice with an infield single, deflected off the backside of Logan Ruga. As the first pitch, the 1-0 is up and out, 2-0. Outside. Three and 0 to Lay. Lay in his 2011 senior season with Gwynedd Mercy, a .368 hitter, 3 home runs, 33 RBIs. As a strike called. And usually I don't crawl back that far for those statistics, but because it's Pitman's first game of the year, sometimes you got to dive deep into the record books to talk about these players in the lineup tonight. Here's the 3-1 from Ruga. Rice does not go. Fly ball, a lot of room down the left field line. This will be a tough play if it's made, but it just runs out of room. Out past third and out towards left field. So no play for anybody on Vineland's court, and it's now 3-2. And the on-deck circle will be Scott Shaw. Shaw, grad of Villanova, will be in the on-deck circle, also of Rider University. 3-2 is strike 3 called. Same place Gonzalez swung at that fastball, maybe a little bit higher, but it is called. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ruga. That's his 9th of the year, and there's 2 away for Shaw. Shaw was a career .277 hitter in college, a .391 on base and an .859 OPS. As we said, spent 2021 to 2022, his first 3 seasons, actually spent his first 4 seasons with Rider, but went to Villanova as a grad student in 2024 and hit .290 with Villanova that season. Career 24 home runs at the college level. His most came in his 2024 season with the Wildcats with 11. Low, 1-1. And in the on-deck circle will be the man himself, the somewhat co-manager of this Pitman team, and Chris Rollins, the former Cubs draft pick in 2005 out of Winslow Township. It's funny, we were covering Bishop Eustace and Gloucester Catholic last week that wrapped up, or partially wrapped up, our baseball season as Shaw gets hit with the pitch and it'll be Rollins now. But I was just minding my own business. We were out in right center field at Joe Barth Field in Brooklawn, and Chris comes up to me and he says, "How are you? How you doing?" Like, he just shows up to a lot of places, and I run into Chris more often than I run into almost any other ball player that we cover. I mean, he's an excellent gentleman. He's an excellent individual to work with and to be around, and he just still loves playing the game. And that's what I love about this Tri-County League, is that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. You've got the same liberties to play the game as anybody else. As we said, he was a 2005 41st round draft pick out of Rowan, Gloucester, of course GCC at the time, drafted by the Chicago Cubs. Spent a few years around in the minor league system. was an assistant coach at GCC, his alma mater, before holding the position that he does now as an assistant coach at Rowan University. And one thing I was going to touch on before the double play in the top of the first is it is interesting how the baseball staff at Rowan, which has made 2 straight College World Series Division III appearances now, basically has a staff there's a base hit in the center field for Rollins. It'll be picked up by Charles. Rice is coming around third. The speedster, he will score. It's an RBI single, and it's 1-0 Pitman here in the bottom of the first inning as they get themselves 2 hits on the board. Runners on first and second, and a 2-out knock by Rollins makes it a 1-0 game for Kip's Bad Guys. And it'll now make it Luke Lesh. Lesh was the hero in the Carter Cup last year. He had a walk-off solo home run in Game 2 of the series to down Washington Township and the Senators by a score of 6-5. That first pitch cracked foul down the left field line, 0-1. Lesh, a graduate of Gloucester Catholic, also played at Rider University. I mean, I think that walk-off home run was probably the best non-high school sports moment that we've covered. Obviously, there's been moments in college and in other levels as well, but when you're talking about the history of the Tri-County League, you know, it's really the only summer league in South Jersey that actually gets media to cover the games. Not just us, but, you know, props to Mark Narducci of the Courier-Post. He comes out and covers some games during the summer. As that one's outside, looks like a sinker ball from Ruga, 2-1. But Lesh was the hero, cracked the ball out to right field and was a power hitter at Gloucester Catholic, power hitter at Rider, and slides into the 6th spot in the lineup for Pitman, 2-1. Another one foul. That's the same half of the plate where Lesh hit his first pitch, and in both of those instances, he did foul it off the other way. You know, with a fastball up and out, 50-50 on if it would have been a strike, but Lesh swung at anything close. High chopper to second base. This will be a tough play. Throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. An RBI single by the player manager, at least part manager, and Chris Rollins brings home the first run of the game. We're through 1 here at Alcyon Park. 1-0 Pitman. Top of the second inning, Fisher, Shoppy, and Williams will bat for Gartons of Vineland. Pitman held Vineland to the minimum in the first inning. There was a leadoff base hit by Ty Powell, but then a fly ball and a line drive double play ended the threat quite quickly. With a liner right to second base, and Powell, he wasn't on a hit and run, but he was far enough off the bag to where it ended up making enough of a difference to end the inning. Ball is up and in to Fisher. Longtime product of this Vineland team, has been here since we started covering these games in 2023, and I'm sure has been around for this team longer than that. As there's a strike called, he's donning a Vineland high school helmet. We covered Vineland in the first round of the South Jersey Group 4 playoffs in quite the unusual game. but it was the 11 seed Cherry Hill East versus the 6 seed Vineland. Cherry Hill East won the game 7-6 as this ball's flied. Shallow left center field, but Rice gets a beat on it, and that's out number 1. So 3 straight retired for Andre after giving up the leadoff single, and there's out number 1. This will bring up Shoppy, the catcher. Shoppy from Rowan Cumberland, batting .200 to start the year. He's 2 for 5, but he does have 2 RBIs and a double to his name, which actually sends his OPS to a solid 1. Andre's first pitch. Off speed, up high, 1-0. 71 degrees tonight here at Alcyon Park, and it's actually cooling down somewhat quickly as the sun goes down behind the trees. Down here in Gloucester County, it's going to get down to the mid-50s tonight in the middle of the evening. That one's low, gets past Alvarado, and it's 2-0. Down in the farmlands of Gloucester County, it's going to get into the 40s tonight. But definitely feels more like a spring evening than a summer evening as the weather will warm up as we get deeper into June. Slider called a strike, 2-1. RCSJ Cumberland definitely made some noise this year, failed though to make the Final Four in NJCAA Division III. 2-1, fouled back, 2-2. 1 away in the top of the second here, nobody on. Shoppy in his freshman season, the Delsey grad. .324 hitter, 5 home runs, 39 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases in his time with the Dukes this past season in 2026. Andre ready, the 2-2. Hard grounder out to second base. Massaro is there. Throw to first is in time, and that's out number 2 in the second. So here is Brent Williams, the graduate of Woodstown, which I remember Brent very well from my first season covering high school baseball back in 2022. He was the star for that star-studded Woodstown team that won the state championship over New Providence, and they won the sectional final as a 9 seed. And I remember very well because as an Audubon high school guy, we always thought that that 2022 team was going to go to the distance. You know, they would be up there with the 2011 and the 2018 teams at Audubon, and maybe even those from the 2000s and the 90s when Rich Horan won 4 state titles in the 90s. But that 2022 team spoiled a lot of dreams. Audubon was the 1 seed, as that one's up, 2-0. And Woodstown won 4-3. And Audubon, very infamously, was unprepared for the so-called Woody Ball that dominates Mark DeCastro's offense and really Lee Ware's offense before him, as there's a high grounder to third base. Rollins picks it up at the chest. The throw to first is in time. Oh, no, it does pop out of the glove of Lesh. That'll be a fielding error on the first baseman. Definitely a routine play. And Lesh, I mean, the throw was mostly on target from Rollins. So I don't think the error would be charged to Rollins. I would have to imagine that would be against Lesh. That's what I get for calling the number a little bit too early, as it'll be a fielding error that gives Vineland their first base runner of the inning. After a fly ball and a ground out for the first 2 outs of the inning, and those were pretty pedestrian. Andre's first pitch, ground ball to the 7-hitter. Gonzalez will take it to the bag himself, and the inning is over. So Vineland gets a runner on, but no blemishes other than the fielding error. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Pitman. Sean Cottrell leads us off for Pitman in the bottom of the second inning as this ball's swung on and missed by Cottrell, 0-1. Cottrell, the extra hitter, Root, and Massaro. 6, 7, and 8 for Pitman as there's another big swing, 0-2. Pitman scored a run in the bottom of the first inning on an RBI single by Chris Rollins. Vineland was unable to reciprocate in the second. They got 2 standard outs and then a E3 as Cottrell goes down swinging on 3 pitches. That's out number 1. And the batter will now be Cooper Root, the designated hitter. Strike, 0-1. That's 4 in a row to start the inning for Ruga, which, how about Logan Ruga getting drilled in the back on the first pitch that he threw? Billy Rice sent one, we call those a return to sender, and in this case it ended up getting him on his lower back and ended up getting through with 2 strikeouts immediately after that. Gave up the RBI single, but I still wouldn't put that entirely against him because even then Rollins just squared one up and sent it back up the middle. I can't really blame Ruga for that. It'll still go down as an earned run, of course, but it certainly is not one without merit. 1-2 is chopped foul down the first base line. This one's a dribbler out to second. Tough play. Throw to first is in time. And Root is retired for out number 2. So 2 quick outs in inning number 2. And remember, there is a 10th batter in the lineup. That'll be Lou Alvarado, who's on deck. He's got his catcher's gear on in case he is not needed, but the batter is Steven Massaro. Massaro takes a strike. Really like this command here from Logan Ruga. He likes to start his at-bats oftentimes with a first pitch fastball, which a lot of pitchers do, but the way that he does it is he likes to command that lower part of the zone and work his way up, as that one fouled back into the parking lot, and it's 0-2. That one's going to roll a long ways into the parking lot. But the 9-hitter in Massaro, product of TCNJ, also of Gloucester City High School, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. So how about that? A very efficient inning for Logan Ruga with 2 strikeouts and only 1 ball thrown the entire frame. We go to inning number 3, Pitman 1, Vineland 0.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Top of the third inning, this broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on their first attempt. You can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pitman at 614 Lambs Road, just minutes from Route 55 and also just minutes from this very ballpark. If you're a small business owner interested in advertising with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, send us an email with an advertising inquiry at the Dan Wilkins Show at gmail.com. That's TAGDANWILKINSSHOW at gmail. As the first pitch is taken for a strike. It's 8, 9, and 10 for Vineland. But all commercials you see on our network are filmed, recorded, and edited by myself and our wonderful crew. We offer affordable advertising services for broadcasts in all 7 South Jersey counties and to over 180,000 annual viewers with over 10,000 followers combined on social media. So if you'd like to get involved, send us an email and we'll be happy to get you service today to get you on the air and with maximum exposure for South Jersey. Check swing is low. Batter held, and it's 2-1. So this will be the extra hitter in Lizer at Holy Family. He'll be followed by Rob Lagarina, the first baseman, and an Xavier Etheridge. Etheridge, a senior at Vineland High School. And a prominent, my words are failing me today. A prominent infielder at Vineland. The 3-1. Strike down the pike, 3-2. Also on this team, but not playing today, is Mario Toro, who was a prominent corner infielder and pitcher for Vineland. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jake Andre to Lizer, the Timber Creek grad, former Camden County College, and now at Holy Family, and there's strike 3, lower half. That's Andre's first strikeout, and there's one away. So here is Lagarina. Lagarina also of Rowan Cumberland, just like his teammate before him in in Williams. No, in Shoppy. There we go. I got it right the third time. There's a strike called. This season, Lagarina batting .200 with a .429 on-base percentage. He's 2 for 5. He has 1 stolen base so far and a .629 OPS. Makes sense. A lot of RC Cumberland guys would flock to Vineland, really the only Tri-County team in that area. Strike called, 0-2. Both of these pitchers very fastball heavy here in the early part of this game. Some of them like their breaking balls, but Andre and Ruga both very reliant on their fastball. That one skips through. 1-2. That ricochets off the metal post and goes right into the on-deck circle for Etheridge. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Andre, though, picked up his first strikeout to Lizer that time. Now he's ahead in the count again. But could be a low-scoring affair if it holds up like this, which, to be fair, a decent amount of Tri-County games are low-scoring. It just matters of how low-scoring it is and how far it continues. That's back-to-back strikeouts. 2 away. And the batter will be Etheridge. Etheridge made some fine plays when he was on DWB under our network. Covered, I think it was 2 Vineland games last season. It was Vineland over Millville, and there's a ground ball, and there's a return to sender that won't hurt all that much, unlike the line drive off the bat of Billy Rice. It's a tapper back to the mound on the first pitch, and Andre's got a 1-2-3 frame. We go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Pitman still here in Alcyon Park. Here's Alvarado leading off the bottom of the third. 1-0 Pitman. Logan Ruga got through the second inning by just throwing one ball. He's got 4 strikeouts today. He's given up 2 hits. Leadoff knock to Billy Rice, and then an RBI single to Chris Rollins, as that one misses to Alvarado. Hard grounder to second base. Ranges to his left, a tough break there, or almost a tough break, I should say, because it looked like he was going to misplay that at first, and then he corrected at the last second to make the play. Alvarado grounds out 4-3, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the third. This sends up Billy Rice, who gave Logan Ruga a bit of a mark in his first at-bat, lined a ball back to the mound that hit Ruga in the lower back, but he was okay. Rice did come around to score on the infield single. Up and out, 1-0. There's a swing and a miss, 1-1. By the way, that cheering you're hearing from behind us, it's coming in really loud on my headset, is coming from the Little League field from behind us. A very active place here at Pitman tonight with a game happening on the field opposite of us, as that ball is going to get caught by Etheridge. A little floater looked good off the bat, but it just couldn't get enough leverage to get into the outfield, and Rice floats out to short for out number 2. But one thing that I wanted to lead with when we talked about this matchup between Vineland and Pitman, not only is it a very spirited matchup in the South Division, it is also the first game we ever did with the Tri-County League. It was back on July the 5th, 2023. It was our first ever matchup that we ever did with the Tri-County, and Pitman won the game 3-2, as there's a swing and a miss. And I remember very well, you know, I was a junior, rising senior in high school at the time, and we were setting up in right center field at Alcyon for the event. And just after, you know, maybe the middle innings, during the game, there was one firework that was lit and exploded just over the water of Holly Lake, which is maybe 500 feet away from this actual ballpark, because that one fouled back over our heads and into the rotunda. But that might be one of the funniest moments that we ever had on a game, was in our first Tri-County game, because of course when you have July 4th weekend, people like to light off the fireworks whenever they can if they have some extras. But a floater out to second base ends the inning, and this one is moving here in Pitman. We're through 3, 1-0 in favor of the Bad Guys. Well, for sure, here at Alcyon Park, we've got a pitcher's duel going here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting in our season opener for the Tri-County. Not only that, the season opener for Pitman, as Vineland tries to go 4-0. Pitman just looking to go 1-0 as they kick off their Tri-County slate. There were teams that started play right after Memorial Day, but Pitman, for one reason or another, opted to stay back for a little while, and this is their marquee matchup, and this is our game of the week on Tri-County Baseball. A 1-0 game so far. RBI single in the bottom of the first was the only scoring, but both pitchers are working quickly, and honestly, both teams are swinging really early, which the Tri-County League is a league of pitchers. Let's just say that. I mean, like we said, there are a lot of games that are low scoring. There are more low scoring games than there are not. I think about it in the sense that our friends over at NABA, South Jersey NABA, that is a hitter's league for sure. I play with the South Jersey Bulldogs in South Jersey NABA in the A division, and we had a game with the South Jersey Patriots down at Buena Vista Township, and our first game was 12-9, and we only played 5 innings because of the time limit. So, and we've had other games that are like 15-10 and 12-11 and whatnot. And you know, listen, it's Sunday Men's League, so I guess that's more expected. But this, being a very sophisticated South Jersey Summer League, seems to be a lot more favorable to the pitchers. As there's a line drive, taken in at first, Lesh is there, and he will make his way over the bag to retire the batter in Powell for out number 1. We went back to the top of the order for Vineland, and Powell, who led off the ball game with a first pitch single, now lines out, or excuse me, hits a line drive ground ball to Powell for out number 1. So here's Anthony Charles, the Delaware ball player. Delaware did not have as great of a season as they would expect in 2026, and as much as I hate to say it, I think that their conference realignment actually negatively affected the Blue Hens, and I'll tell you why. Last season, Delaware was in the CAA, which is the Colonial Athletic Association, and that includes schools like Rhode Island and William and Mary and Towson. Some very solid programs, to say the least, but Charles is going to line this one in the right center field. That's a base hit. So Charles gets it down, and it's a one-out single. Second hit of the game for Vineland. He cracks one out to right center field to give himself a one-out base runner, and this will send up the 3-man in O'Brien, the second baseman. But Delaware having a solid season in 2025 in the CAA, then getting turned around and getting moved to the Conference USA, which it's one thing when your farthest road game is in Virginia, but to turn around for Delaware, as this ball's lined in a right field, that'll go foul, for Delaware to have their farthest road game in 2026 be in New Mexico, and that specifically being New Mexico State, which I think is in Las Cruces, New Mexico, if I'm correct, it is a substantially higher task for those players to go through. I think about it in the Big Ten as well. USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, those 4 Pac-12 programs that joined the Big Ten, as that one is low. This is going to be a stolen base. Charles in standing. Alvarado miscued the ball on the transfer, and the runner, the tying run, will be in scoring position for Vineland. But yes, most importantly, I think that the conference realignment hurt Delaware in baseball. And I'll be honest, I didn't look at their softball team to see how they did, but I just know directly from 2025 to 2026 that Delaware had a down year, and now they've got guys like Sam Winsett that were with the program but joined the transfer portal, and Winsett now committed to MTSU, Middle Tennessee State, the Blue Raiders. Now, I don't know if the conference realignment was a direct cause of Delaware having a decline in performance, but I can certainly tell you that I don't think it helped, as there's a swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the batter O'Brien after a swing and miss on a breaking ball low in the zone, and almost certainly was a chase for O'Brien. In the on-deck circle will be Darren Fisher, the center fielder. For the Vineland Gartons here in their 4th game of the season, here on the road at Alcyon Park. Charles trailing off a second. Andry low on a fastball, 3-2. But Delaware now having to play the likes of Louisiana Tech and New Mexico State, Missouri State, And, of course, you may ask, well, why did Delaware make the move from the CAA to the Conference USA in the first place? And I can give you one reason and one reason only: football. That is exactly why they joined. And unfortunately, it seems to have cost them a lot of performance in the other sports that they have in Newark. And I could be completely wrong. Maybe Delaware had a fluke season. By the way, ball 4 to O'Brien. They could have had a fluke season, and my, Jim Jams about the Conference USA might be entirely misguided. But the pros to joining Conference USA is that you get a lot more money from those football teams. And baseball, by virtue, is a non-revenue sport. That's going to be a double play. Adrian Gonzalez with a fantastic play to break it up. 2 runners were on, but Gonzalez with a diving stop throws the ball from his knees and makes the play to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th here at Alcyon Park in Pitman. It's Pitman 1, Vineland 0.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Back at Alcyon Park, Lay leads us off 3, 4, and 5 for Pitman. This broadcast is brought to you by our friends over at the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events throughout the Garden State. Visit dawgprowrestling.com for more information. Austin Lay leads us off. Lay, Shaw, and Rollins. Rollins has the game's only RBI with an RBI single in the bottom of the first inning. That scored Billy Rice 2 hits in the first. Both sides have 2 hits in this game. That ball got a piece of the home plate umpire, and he's a little bit roughed up over it. Oh, he got dirt in his eye. That's what it was. He'll put his mask on, and he'll be back okay. 1-0. High chopper over the middle. This is going to get through into center field for Austin Lay. Base hit. Able to give Pitman a bit of life here in the bottom of the 4th inning as they look to extend their lead. And a nice base hit that time by Lay. I mean, it's a high chopper. It's not the most glamorous base hit, but it's one to keep the gears moving, if you will. And the batter is Shaw of Ryder and Villanova. By the way, your umpires for today's game under the Tri-State Elite Umpiring Association. It's Anthony Jones behind the plate. Frank Pagano is your field umpire for today's game. Tried to mention that a little bit earlier, but this ball's hit well. Deep to right field. This one's up, going back to the wall. It is gone! 2-run home run for Scott Shaw. And he gets this game back moving. There wasn't a lot going on before that swing, but Scott Shaw unloads a ball to deep right field on a high fly ball. And it's Pitman 3, Vineland nothing. And that's the first big blemish that Ruga has had today in a low-scoring affair. Shaw for Pitman's season opener clubs the ball to right. And it's 3-0. Let's take a look at that replay. Your replays are presented by Harper Driving School. just got a good swing. I mean, this one looked like a high fly off the bat. But he knew he either had a chance at it or he didn't, and he exactly did just that. 2-run home run, strike called to Rollins. It's 0-1. Another fiery fastball by Ruga. I think that's a fastball out of frustration there. I mean, he's upset that he gave up the home run, and he's just trying to get now the rest of this inning moving and back going as quickly as possible. And there's a very good get back that time by Ruga. Picks up the strikeout. That's his 5th strikeout of the evening, and here is Les. First pitch to Lesh, swung on and foul. A theme I'm seeing in this game is a lot of batters are swinging at the first pitch, but that's also because Ruga is delivering a lot of fastballs early in the count. So it's not all that surprising that if you're going to go with that mojo and he's not really going to switch it up, that's probably the best course of action, is to swing early in the at-bat, give yourself an opportunity, because you know, a lot of times the philosophy in low-stakes situations is don't swing until you see a strike, especially if the pitcher's having control issues. But I would say that this pitcher certainly is not having control issues, and that's what's helping Vineland here. But it can also be a blessing and a curse, is that if your pitcher is not having any issues controlling the strike zone, that might also mean that he's just so consistent that hitters can get adjusted to it over time and get better as a swinger. When it's 2-2 outside. Sometimes that's what helps a guy like Jose Alvarado, for example. You know, when you look at what he does with the Phillies, he can be a little bit wild sometimes. But when he's got his stuff locked down, the hitters don't know where to go with it. They don't know if it's going to go high, tight, inside, outside, high, low, right down the plate. You don't know where it's going to go. So if you're a guy like Alvarado, you really do keep the hitters on their toes. But after a 3-pitch strikeout, the pendulum swings the other way for Ruga. And you could tell his body language, he's definitely frustrated out there as he gives up the free pass. It's the first walk he's allowed in this game. There's one away and Lesh reaches. This brings up Cottrell. Had a full count on him, but was unable to deliver on a 3-2. Swing and a miss, 0-1. But Ruga still with a lot of great velocity on that fastball. He is really wheeling and dealing. Throw back to first, not in time. The 0-1 was up and in. So both of those runs on that home run charged to Ruga. He's now up to 3 earned runs on the year in one of Vineland's first 3 games. Had 6 innings, 4 walks, and 7 Ks. Gave up no earned runs in that game as that one's high. As we said, Vineland 3-0 on the season so far. Two balls, 1 strike, very fastball heavy in this inning and the at-bat. And another one trails up and in. Cottrell having to watch himself there. It's 3-1. Vineland had a game postponed versus Cinnaminson that has not been made up yet. They beat Camden 6-1 in their home opener on June the 2nd. They beat Blackwood 10-1 on June the 3rd in a back-to-back day. And then June 4th, they beat the Pine Barrens 15-1. So they have scored 31. They've outscored their opponents 31-3 in their first 3 games of the season. And this is the first game in which they have allowed more than 1 run. That ball's inside. Pitching coach will come out for Vineland after 2 walks. He's now allowed 4 out of 5 base runners in this inning. Vineland does have a right-hander that is warming up, and they may call him out of the game already instead of having a visit. They may not want this game to spiral any further through 3 1/3, but just something seemed to flip for Ruga. He had everything going for him, just 1 hit and 4 strikeouts. He had everything going, but he was unable to convert as he gave up a single, a home run, And now back-to-back walks to Lesh and Cottrell. Root will be the batter. But as we said, this is the first game this year in which Vineland has allowed more than one run, and they outscored their opponents in their first 3 games 31-3. And all 3 of those games, mind you, were back-to-back-to-back. They played on June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and still were able to score 31 runs in that span. You don't see a lot of teams that play back-to-back during the regular season. I mean, it happens, but it's not a regular occurrence. So for Vineland to play 3 games in 3 days, one of those games being on the road at the Pine Barrens, which for Vineland, that's probably the longest travel that any team in this league has to make from point A to point B, as that one's up and out. Because you got to go from what? Vineland to Tabernacle, crossroads and back roads in Burlington County. That's probably an hour plus to get there. As the 1-0 from Root, 2-Root from Ruga is a strike called, 1-1. Ruga looks back at second. Lesh trails off the bag, showing bunt but not offering. He pulls back in the nick of time. 2-1. Outside, strike call. 2-2. That's one of those borderline ones where the pitcher's going to agree with it, the batter's going to disagree with it, and it's going to be one that all comes down to the gentleman in blue behind the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Ruga looks back several times and delivers. Chopper, it hits Root in the foot, and it's foul. Cooper Root, another Gwynedd Mercy product, spent 4 years with the Griffins. Was a .329 hitter, did not register any at-bats in his freshman year, but had 115 hits in 3 seasons with the Griffins, as that one's outside. He was a .329 hitter in college, 62 walks, and an .825 OPS. Never hit a home run, and only had 18 extra base hits in those 3 seasons, 3 full seasons, that is, with Gwynedd Mercy. But the 2-strike pitch wavered out to second base. No, the throw goes wide. Ruga throws it away. Lesh on his horse. He'll come in to score. Cottrell holds at second, and what would have been a surefire double play turns into a throwing error and a run scored against Ruga. It's the 3rd run of the inning for Pitman, and it's now 4-0 as Ruga's throw goes way wide into center field. So Lesh comes in to score. The batter is Massaro, the 7th batter of the inning already for Pitman, as this game's starting to trail a little bit further than they'd like. It's a high chopper. This could be a double play. 4, 6, 3. Way to get out of it. So Ruga could have had a double play, but instead the ball went into center field. Vineland immediately gets it back on the next pitch. We're through 4. It's 4-0 Pitman. Top of the fifth inning, Shoppy leads it off for Vineland. It's 4-0 in favor of Pitman. They scored 3 runs in the bottom of the fourth inning. A 2-run home run by Villanova's Scott Shaw, followed by another run that scored on a throwing error by Vineland's pitcher. What a day for the double play, huh? We've had 3 of them tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shoppy, Williams, and Peacock. There was a line drive double play that ended the top of the first off the bat of O'Brien. And then the top of the fourth ended with a double play, and the bottom of the fourth ended with a double play as well. That one's out on the breaking ball from Andrew. 2-1. Shoppy grounded out to second base on a 4-3 ground out in his first at bat. Two balls, 1 strike. Andrew delivers. That one's laced, and that one's going to be a high chopper. Gonzalez has it. He's deep in the hole at short. The throw is going to be late. Came in on 1 hop. Gonzalez's throw just didn't have enough power on it to get through. And that'll be an infield single for the catcher, Shoppy. Looks like no runner for him at first. It'll be Williams now, the third baseman. I'm honestly not sure what courtesy runner rules exist in Tri-County, if any do. Because it usually is just that the catchers and pitchers run like normal. I mean, obviously, I'm so used to high school baseball where catchers and pitchers can be run for at any time, which is more of a safety issue for the younger players and making sure that they stay healthy. I mean, you don't want to see your starting catcher go down on something that's not related to their position. As a fly ball to straightaway center field. Rice goes back. He'll make the catch. And that's out number 1. Obviously, it was a little bit of a switch when we went to NCAA baseball for the first time. And there was no courtesy runner of any kind. So if you were the catcher, you were on, let's say second base with 2 outs. It'll take a couple extra seconds to get the next inning started as a throw back, not in time. Shoppy gets in standing. Because you got to run from second base back to the dugout, put on your gear, get out there, send somebody else, send your backup catcher out to warm up the pitcher. It's a well-oiled machine, something that a lot of people can rely on. As the 1-0. Strike called. Batter wanted to offer at it, but it was a called strike nonetheless. He didn't really offer at it, that's one of those things where it's like 10% of a check swing. You're not really there. And you're not really that close to getting the bat off your shoulders. That one's low. 2-1. Yeah, Vineland looking to get something back here with the middle of their order. Obviously, Williams reached on an error back in the second inning, but more importantly, they just want to get a run on the board. They've outscored their opponents 31-3 going into this game. I've said that like a broken record now that I know the fact, if you will. Inside, 3-1. And you got to wonder if both of these starting pitchers are reaching the end of their rope at the same time. Cottrell was warming up down the right field line when we last checked. It's very possible that could happen. Just so happens that sometimes both pitchers run out of steam at the same time, and then you got to go from a bullpen game from the same jump. The swing and a miss. Williams goes down to a knee, and it's 3-2. As we said, Williams, the Woodstown grad, was at Hartford College in Maryland, the NJCAA Division I, and now at Goldie Beacom, which is also in Maryland, an NCAA Division II, and a very good one at that. Hit over 300 in his sophomore season with the Golden Flashes. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Andrew delivers, and that is low and outside for ball 4. And after giving up 2 base runners to start the 5th, Alvarado will come out and talk to his pitcher in Andrew, or at least, well, Rollins is. Because Rollins being the player manager, player coach, if you will. Alvarado will also join him out there. So 4-0, Pitman over Vineland, top of the 5th inning. Obviously, they're already down to their last 8 outs, and we started the game an hour and 10 minutes ago. But you have to wonder that possibly, do you let Andry go as far as he can? Do you let one run come in and then pull it? Or do you wait until Cottrell's ready and pull him for Sean Cottrell, the Eastern University product, at the first sign of trouble? Because I would say this is the first sign of trouble, but there's also nobody out in the inning. So, leadoff single, leadoff walk. There's a lot going on for sure, but now you've got Peacock with a chance to break the 0 for Vineland. Break the ice, if you will. It's a strike called, 0-1. Oh, and 2. Andries 0-2. Looks back at second a few times. Shortstop not holding the bag. That one misses out. The throw to second not in time. And the ball goes into center field. Both runners are going to move up. No, runner from first definitely made the wise decision, held up there. And that now moves the first run for Vineland 90 feet away to third base. Counts 1-2. Just on the outside corner for Andry. Peacock grounded out into a 6 unassisted fielder's choice to end the second inning. And Vineland, even though they're off the board, has had a base runner in every inning except the third. There's a swing and a miss. Runner will get down to second, uncontested. And it's out number 1. So 2 in scoring position, 1 away, and the batter is Lizer. Or, excuse me, Lagarina's the batter. I'm sorry, I had the outs wrong. There are 2 outs in the inning because Lizer was the last batter. He struck out swinging. And yeah, the first out with a fly out by Peacock, so I apologize. You'd think I've done I did a baseball game on Friday only 3 days ago. I don't know what got me so rusty in the last couple of days, but it's the summer league, it's a new season, and, well, there's a first for all of us. I mean, on Saturday, we went out to Mastery Pickett High School in the Germantown suburb of Philadelphia. We covered women's football for the first time. It was the Maine Mayhem and the Philadelphia Phantoms. Now, Philadelphia ended up winning that game 41-6. And it just, I didn't sound all that great because it was my first football game since Thanksgiving of last year, but a ground ball to short ends the inning. Vineland leaves 2 runners in scoring position after a single and a walk. We go to the bottom of the 5th. They're down to their last 6 outs, but Pitman's got a chance to extend their lead even further, 4-0. Lou Alvarado leads us off 10-1-2 for the Pitman Bad Guys, bottom of the 5th inning. Season opener for us in Tri-County Baseball. Whoa! I have never seen that happen before at this ballpark. The ball skipped up off the catcher's leg, and it cleared the fence behind the plate, and that's a good 15, 20 feet. I don't think I've ever seen that here. There's a ground ball, second base. Throw to first, Alvarado is retired. Out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th. 4-0 Pitman. They added 3 runs to their tally in the 4th inning. 2-run home run by Scott Shaw. So here is Rice in the leadoff spot. He's 1 for 2. That one skips off the chain link fence, and for those at home, that wasn't that loud in person, but in my headset, that nearly rattled right off of our field mic. So another high chopper, foul, 1-1. I'm waiting for a foul ball to just hit the field mic at some point. I mean, I don't want it to because I don't want it to break, but that'll be quite the interesting sound. Here's the 1-1. Strike called outside corner. This ball's cracked out to right center. This one's hit pretty well, and it'll stay up. Caught in the right center gap by Charles, and there's out number 2. So Alvarado grounds out to second, and a laser off the bat of Rice hangs up for the second out, and the batter is Gonzalez. Rice has had 2 line drives in this game. 1 to short and 1 to right center field. He's 1 for 3. Gonzalez takes a strike. He's 0 for 2. Another strike called, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That one's up, 1-2. One, 2 to Gonzalez. Oh, that one got him in the wrist. He'll go down to first base, and it's a 2-out, bases empty, hit by pitch that sends up Lay. Austin Lay is 1 for 2, strikeout and a single to his name. Up and out, that hit Weiser's glove. Or hit Shoppy's glove, pardon. It'll be a passed ball. Pitch ran up and out. Would have been a ball anyway, but insult to injury comes out with Gonzalez getting a pass to second base. Up and out, 2-0. Gonzalez trailing off a second. Ruga delivers. One's also up and out. Where Ruga has missed the most tonight has been on that fastball that's been up in the zone. We mentioned early that he likes to work his pitch low and then work his way up, but now I think he's just frustrated and he's really working that ball very high in the zone. And sometimes he needs a get back to get himself back. Like, he was ahead 1 and 2 in the count to Gonzalez, then he hit him, and he starts the next batter with a 3-0 count. I think there's a lot of emotions and a lot of frustrations that are going around right now for Vineland, where they're just trying to get ahead and they're just trying to get out of this jam in this early season matchup. It's ball 4. 5-pitch walk to lay, and now here's Scott Shaw. Flashing back to just 1 inning ago in the 4th, as the pitching coach will come out. Here was the 2-run home run off the bat of Shaw that extended Pitman's lead to 4-0. A shot to deep right field. See if they keep him in or if they do not. It looks like we will have a new pitcher coming in. So when we return, because we'll have a pitching change here for Vineland, 2 on, 2 out, and a 4-0 Pitman lead when we come back. New pitcher, Danny Kerr, the new pitcher for Vineland, Bishop Eustace grad, now at Jefferson University in Philadelphia. One foul back. Also an assistant coach, at least part-time, for Bishop Eustace, who was in the South Jersey non-public B final versus Gloucester Catholic. Gloucester Catholic won that game 8-1. Quite the spectacular game that it was, but Kerr, his first appearance of the year, and a former Rowan Gloucester guy as well for Rob Valley and that crew. He replaces Logan Ruga, who made it 4 2/3 innings. He struck out 5 batters, and he is responsible for both runners on, Gonzalez with a hit by pitch and Lay with a walk, but no hits in this inning yet. Ruga finished his start with 2 hit by pitches and just 1 walk, because that one's another one fouled back. 1 and 2 is the count. If the inning continues after him, Rollins is on deck with 1 for 2. Oh. Shaw, who had the 2-run home run in the 4th, his first of the year, for the 4-year Rider alum, and most recently played for Villanova in 2024 as a grad student. Here's the pitch. This one's popped up. This one is in the infield to third base, and it's taken in. The inning is over. So Shaw pops out to the third baseman and leaves 2 runners on no hits. To the 6th we go. Looks like Andrew might come back out for this one. It's 4-0 Pitman. Pitman 4, Vineland 0. Here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, it's the Tri-County Baseball League Game of the Week. We'll be back on the air on Sunday, June the 14th, for a North Division battle between Cinnaminson and Burlington Township. That'll be our next broadcast of Tri-County action. I actually think that'll be our next broadcast, period, because, well, summer leaves us a lot more days off, which, listen, with all due respect, I am certainly grateful for, as Etheridge takes a strike 1-1. It's 10-1-2, Etheridge, Powell, and Charles for Vineland. Etheridge, as we said, the senior at Vineland High School, committed to Stockton. He'll make the trip down to Galloway in the Atlantic City area as that wind's low. We've been to Stockton once for a broadcast that was not Stockton related. It was Atlantic City FC, the semi-pro soccer team, as Etheridge high chopper to short. Gonzalez plays it on the right side, throw to first, scooped by Lesh. Great play. In time for out number 1, and Etheridge is retired. We go back to the top for Powell. But it was a 2-1 game versus FC Monmouth. Back around Memorial Day weekend of last year, we were there with Mark Narducci, who, of course, is quite the good soccer reporter in his own right. And after a seemingly pedestrian ground out, we'll have a pitching change. So that's the end of the day for Jake Andry, the Rowan product. He finishes with 5 1/3, 3 strikeouts, and only 3 hits allowed. We'll take a break, and when we return, new pitcher for the Pitman Bad Guys with a 4-0 lead. Well, he may not have a jersey number on his back, but that figure is certainly a respected one. Ethan Schaub is the new pitcher for Pitman. The left-hander who went to Haddon Township High School, went to Rowan Gloucester, and is now at Delaware, is going to pitch here in the top of the 6th inning. Now, what's interesting is we've got Schaub versus Powell, but in the on-deck circle is Anthony Charles, which will mean that 2 Delaware teammates are going to face off against each other in the on-deck circle. And we know that because there's one away, so really no way for Charles not to face Schaub in a lefty-lefty matchup, which will be kind of interesting, but low and away, 2-0. Powell led off the game with a single on the first pitch. He's 1 for 2. 2 balls, no strikes from Schaub. Fastball outside corner, called a strike, 2-1. Pitman 4, Vineland 0 here in the top of the 6th inning from Alcyon Park. Pitman scored 1 run in the bottom of the first inning to open up the scoring. They added 3 more in the fourth. 2-1. Wave and a miss. Fastball outside. Chased on. Definitely the turning point of the game was that 2-run home run by Scott Shaw, the Villanova product. Shaw works back into the count, and it's strike 3 called outside corner. Shaw picks up the strikeout, his first in relief, and now here's your this is going to be interesting. So I'm sure whoever wins this battle, Greg Mamula is going to be happy, and Anthony Charles has a ear-to-ear grin on his face. Here we go. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Schaub in his windup and the pitch. Up and out. 1-0. Yeah, Charles kind of looked back at the home plate umpire and he's like, this is funny. Charles, the grad from Clearview, Haddon Township grad Ethan Schaub, as we said, started out at Rowan Gloucester before transferring to Udell. That one's cracked, and I think he broke the bat. It's going to go to second base. Massaro gets there. It's in time. So Ethan Schaub, now he's the one smiling ear to ear, and he retires his own teammate in Anthony Charles to end the inning. Like we said, whoever wins that battle, Greg Mamula was going to be happy nonetheless. But we go to the bottom of the sixth. It's Pitman 4, Vineland nothing. Kerr facing Rollins, bottom of the sixth. That ball pops out, and it's 1-0. Rollins, Lesh, and Cottrell in the sixth. 4-0 Pitman. Strike called. Yeah, so all smiles all around there in the top of the sixth inning with Charles grounding out to Schaub, or at least to second base off of Schaub, his own teammate at Udell. 2 balls, 1 strike. Low, 3-1. Low for ball 4. So Rollins walks. It's the first free pass allowed by Kerr, the Bishop Eustace product, or at least former Bishop Eustace product, now at Jefferson University in Philadelphia, and the batter is Lesh. So we said Lesh was the hero in last year's championship series. Strike called. At this very ballpark, hit the walk-off home run to right field in the 12th inning to give Pitman their first championship in the Carter Cup since 2019. Swing and a miss, and it's quickly 0-2. Cottrell will be next. Actually, they're going to have somebody else hitting instead of Cottrell. He was listed as the extra hitter, so you can flex around a lot more with him. Rollins goes. What a pick behind the plate by Shoppy, and he's safe. Stolen bag for the 38-year-old Chris Rollins. Excellent work there on the 0-2. It's a bold move, but he ends up getting in there, and Lesh now has the runner in scoring position. Yeah, it looks like Pitman with the 4-0 lead looking to empty their bench a little early as that one's low, 2-2. But a great night here at Pitman at Alcyon Park. Again, just about 66 degrees as that one is low. Rollins on his horse. He'll go to third, and he'll get in there safely. Chris Rollins, a sneaky speedster, gets in there, and it's a full count. Three balls, two strikes. Nobody out in the bottom of the sixth here from Alcyon Park. And that one is low for ball four. So back-to-back walks allowed by Kerr. I'm going to put runners on the corners here with nobody out. So Eric Rollins, the pinch hitter for Cottrell. There's actually three different Rollins on this team. Eric Rollins, Chris Rollins, and Lucas Rollins. Johnny DeLuca will hit after Eric Rollins. So as we said, Pitman making a handful of substitutions with their EH and DH spots here in the sixth, as there's a strike called. Runner gets down to second uncontested in Lesh. Two runners in scoring position here for Eric Rollins with Chris Rollins on third as there's a strike called 1-2. Again, our next broadcast will be Sunday in the Tri-County Baseball League on the 14th. 6 o'clock first pitch between Burlington Township and Cinnaminson from Memorial Park, one of the many fields in that venue in Cinnaminson. It's the two-strike pitch, low and away. If you're just joining us tonight, 4-0 Pitman over Vineland here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Vineland lined out into a double play in the top of the first inning. Pitman opened up the scoring with an RBI single in the bottom of the first. Didn't have anything until the bottom of the fourth when a two-run home run by... Oh, that one, man, that was right in my headset. Oh, my goodness. That was like a firework went off right in my ear. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Again, I sound like a lunatic because it wasn't that loud. It was a regular foul ball. But when I'm wearing a headset and the foul ball comes maybe 6 inches from that microphone, I tell you, it sounded like a firework went off right in my ear. But it's a 3-2 count. Pitman scored 3 runs in the bottom of the fourth inning. There was a 2-run home run by the Villanova grad Scott Shaw, and then another run scored on a throwing error, and we've been silent ever since. But that's a swing and a miss. Great strikeout by Kerr, getting back into the zone after giving up the 2 walks. He was at risk of giving up a third, but he strikes out Eric Rollins to now send up DeLuca. That one is up, 1-0. Kerr's 1-0. Strike called to DeLuca from Kingsway High School. Kingsway just punched their ticket to the state final at Rutgers University. They beat Hunterdon Central 9-1. There's a swing and a miss. South Jersey is only sending 1 representative to Rutgers for the state final, unfortunately. Well, actually, they're sending 2. Well, no, St. Augustine won. So I'm sorry. They're sending 1 out of the public bracket and 2 out of the non-public bracket. You're sending Gloucester Catholic out of South Jersey non-public B, you're sending St. Augustine out of South Jersey non-public A, and you might ask, well, if they're South Jersey brackets and there's no state semifinal, then why would you count them as South Jersey? Well, in South Jersey non-public A specifically, there's a lot of teams that compete that I would not call at any leisure South Jersey, like Red Bank Catholic, CBA, Immaculata. I wouldn't call those true South Jersey teams in 1,000 years, but St. Augustine is. So that's where that distinction is made. Another one, strike called to Massaro outside corner, 0-2. But a great comeback here for Kerr. He gave up 2 walks. He's got 2 runners in scoring position, and now he's got a chance to get 3 straight strikeouts for the Jefferson right-hander. And there's a swing and a miss. He got him. Massaro goes down on 3 strikes, and what a comeback it was by Danny Kerr. 2 walks and now 3 strikeouts in a row. We go to the 7th. Pitman 4, Vineland 0.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
Pitman brings on their 3rd pitcher of the night. It'll be Lucas Rollins, replacing replacing Schaub. Schaub went 2/3 of an inning. I thought he might go for the 7th, but instead manager Kip Bard decided to go for Lucas Rollins, the cousin of Eric Rollins, who did not enter the game defensively. Remember, he was a extra hitter, per se. Well, not per se, as it was in the lineup. Cottrell and Cooper Root were the EH and DH respectively, but they both were pinch hit for in the 6th. Great comeback by Danny Kerr. He walked his first 2 batters, struck out the next 3. We got a 2-0 count. O'Brien popped up, no play on it, and it's 2-1. 3, 4, and 5 for Vineland as they look to get ahead in this game. O'Brien, Fisher, and Shoppy. Two. O'Brien lined into that double play. I mean, it was going to be a standard line drive, but because Powell was standing so far off the bag, had no time to get back, and it wasn't even a hit and run either, just a little bit of an oversight. And O'Brien swings and misses. First strikeout for Lucas Rollins, and there's one away here in the 7th. Here is Fisher, the center fielder. He's 0 for 2, also grounded into a double play, 6-4-3, with a very nice play by Adrian Gonzalez. First pitch grounded to Gonzalez. Can't get it. Boots it off of his foot. It goes into left field. It was a hard hit, but I think I'm going to give that one as an error on Gonzalez, mostly because that one looked like it would have been to his right, and I still think that was a play that should have been made. Because coming out of the gap there in the hole, you know, something that if it was extraordinary effort and maybe if it was 2 or 3 feet to the right of Gonzalez, it would have been a little bit more. But instead, it ends up being an E6 in my book. I don't know how it would be in Kip's book, but I think that would be an error on Gonzalez. Swing and a miss, it's 0-1. Shoppy the batter for Vineland. He's 1 for 2. For the RCSJ Cumberland product, who, as we said, was batting .340 with the Dukes last year. Strike called 0-2. So runner on, 1 away. And the on-deck circle will be Brent Williams from Woodstown, the product of Goldie Beacom, the Division II in Maryland, who has reached base twice. Williams with an E5 in the second inning and has reached on a walk in the fourth. However, did not come around to score as Vineland doesn't have any runs, so they're looking for their first here in the late innings of this one. Rollins delivers. Swing and a miss. He got him. 2 strikeouts for Lucas Rollins, and we're down to our last out of the ball game in a relatively quick one. We're going to knock on wood. I mean, there's no wooden post around me, but if I could, I'd knock on wood because you know how it is with the broadcaster jinx. But started the game at 7:04 p.m., and we're at 8:50 right now. So, I mean, it wasn't a rout. It wasn't a blowout by any means, and this is a shattered bat to shallow left field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. So a little trade-off for Brent Williams. He'll get a base hit, but unfortunately he's going to have to grab another piece of lumber with a 2-out single. Saw a couple shards fly off that bat, and you can hear it rattle back to the dugout. So 2-out single for Williams. He's now reached base 3 times. And a quick meeting between Lucas Rollins and Alvarado. 2 outs for Kyle Leiser, who flew out to center field in his last at-bat. Now, a reminder that with Rollins, because he entered the game in a 4-run lead, this is not a save situation. If somebody came in and replaced him, it would be because of the 2 runners on. But a ball misses outside to Leiser. Leiser, as we said, a product of Timber Creek High School when John Cates was the head coach there. Was at Camden County College, now at Holy Family in Philadelphia. A relatively new baseball program, introduced their team in 2024 was their first season. A swing and a miss. Couldn't pinpoint for you exactly where their campus is, but I would have to imagine I think it's somewhere around Center City. That one's up and out. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs from Lucas Rollins. Swing and a miss, 2-2. So 1 pitch away from Pitman winning their first game of the year and Vineland suffering their first loss. Again, they outscored their opponents 31-3 in the first 3 games of the season, all on back-to-back days. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of last week, they played 3 games, 2 of them at home. And in their last 2 games, they scored 25 runs, but they might be held off the scoreboard tonight as that one's outside. And, of course, game's not over by any means, but you've got a 3-2 count with 2 away, and Rollins with a little bit of a jam here in the 7th. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and that is ball 4. So the bases are loaded with 2 away. Rollins suffers a walk to Peacock. And the batter will be Lizer. Or, excuse me. You got a pinch hitter, it looks like, coming in, because this is not Lizer or Lagarina. First pitch. Blooped to third base. This could do it. Sliding. Stopped by Rollins. Couldn't get there. It's 0-1. 1-1 to Strites. Logan Strites is the pinch hitter from Pennsville High School. The utilityman, first at bat of the season for Vineland. Breaking ball by Rollins catches the zone, 1-2. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. Strites, for all it's worth, is the tying run at the plate. And if the inning continues, it'll be Lagarina, the first baseman. But a lefty-lefty matchup looking to end this game. It'll be outside, 2-2. Yeah, Pennsville's had a very solid team for many years, and Strites was a great part of that. We'll see if he can get a good swing on one here, get something he can hit and put Vineland on the board. The 2-2. This ball skied out towards shallow right center field. This one could be trouble in the triangle, and diving play. It's dropped by Lay. 2 runs will score, and it's a 2-run single off the bench for Logan Strites, and it's 4-2 Vineland. That's one of those plays where you didn't really think there was going to be a chance, but a 2-run single gives Vineland a little bit of life here. 2 outs in the 7th inning, and it's 4-2. And now Lagarina's got the tying run on first base. Rollins, first pitch, outside. He has allowed 4 base runners in the inning. There was a leadoff strikeout, followed by an error by the shortstop Gonzalez. There was another strikeout for out number 2, but a 2-out rally has commenced here with a single, a walk, and a 2-run single that blooped out to right center field off the bat of Strites, the Pennsville grad. 1-0 to Lagarina. That one is low. Alvarado scoops it. Lagarina 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and a ground out. Lagarina also the Clearview grad. And there's a swing and a miss, 2-1. Lagarina in his most recent season with Cumberland hit .235 with 20 RBIs and 7 stolen bases for the Dukes when they made the NJCAA Final Four in Region 19. As the 2-1. Ground ball, this could do it. Out to first base, Lesh tags the bag, and despite a strong effort by the Gartons, the ball game is over, and Pitman hangs on for their first win of the season with a final score of 4-2. They leave the tying run on base, which is not something that we had expected, but because of what Pitman was able to do on the mound, they had enough of an offensive cushion to come home with the win and improve to 1-0 on the young campaign. Your player of the game is Jake Andre. 5 1/3 innings for the right-hander. He allowed just 3 hits. He struck out 3, walked 1 batter, and gave up no runs. Vineland ends up getting 2 in the top of the 7th. The loss is charged to the Washington College product in Logan Ruga. And a 2-run home run was a turning point in the game in the bottom of the 4th inning off the bat of the Villanova grad and Rider grad in Scott Shaw. Our next broadcast will be on Sunday, June the 14th, in a Burlington County matchup in the Tri-County League between the Burlington Township Pirates and the Cinnaminson crew. From our entire crew on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our social media coordinator Haley Mejia, our graphics crew Caleb Lane, Carson Rosso, and Fisher Giannotti, I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you on Sunday night, but we've got almost a week until our next broadcast. I don't know what to do. I might start a new hobby or something. 6 days without a broadcast. I can't remember the last time that we even had anything like that. But our final score tonight, Pitman 4, Vineland 2, time of game 1 hour and 46 minutes. And your player of the game goes to Jake Andre. Have a good one, folks.